Hello everybody, my name is Tanner Kyler, and today I'm out on a remnant piece of the prairie on the side of a gravel road in Osage County, Oklahoma. And I wanted to talk to you about some of the native plants blooming here on September 11th, 2025. So as you can hear behind me, there is an array of different species of grasshoppers and cicadas, crickets, all different types of species of insect going crazy. And I want to show you the plants behind that miraculous sound you can hear. Oh, we're blurry. Let's focus. All right, for starters, we have these sunflowers growing all on the side of the road here. We have hackberry and American elm trees growing short in the brush. I believe this is some kind of dogwood growing right here in the side of the road. They recently mowed the side of the road here, which was actually full of solidago species like all the goldenrods and Silphium, which is a species of compass plant, and they mowed a lot of it down, but right here on this side it didn't quite get touched. So these asters here, these sunflowers, are beautiful, and there's thousands of them growing out here in this prairie. It's a really beautiful morning. There's the sun rising out here, and it's real peaceful, real calm. I've only seen one car pass. It's really nice. But anyway, so right over here on the other side of the road, we have a bunch of other really cool species. Right here we have some thistle growing. This is the tall thistle, roadside thistle. I'll put its Latin name down below. Growing right here on the side of the road, and it's got some beautiful purple blooms on it right now. Let me squat down here. This one right here in particular isn't super tall, even though it has the name tall thistle. But this thistle can get about 7 to 8 feet tall in certain conditions if it's proper. It's a biennial plant, so if you spread seed of this, you're just going to see a bunch of young leaves come up for the first year, and then after that second year, it'll shoot up and it'll bloom like this, seed, and then die. Right down here, we have some blue sage. I'm not sure what its Latin name is, but it's blooming right here on the side of the road. You can see its beautiful blue, purplish flower here. There were a bunch of those that got mowed down, but then if we look up from that, we have some other forbs. This is rough goldenrod, solidago. I'm not sure what the specific epithet is on this one either, but we have some other solidago over here. We have some of the more common goldenrod blooming. I'll walk over here to show that. Something also about the solidago that's interesting, this rough one, is this is a 2-year-old plant, so it doesn't bloom till its second year. Its first year, it works on putting on just leaves and roots, and then the second year it blooms. It is a perennial though, so it lives for decades, if not close to a century, like a lot of these prairie plants do. A lot of people don't realize that here in the tallgrass prairie, a lot of our plants are perennial, so they can live to be 50, 100 years old, sometimes even older in certain species, like this big blue stem here. This big blue stem here isn't super vigorous. I've seen it get 12 feet tall out in the prairie before in certain conditions, mostly in savanna settings, but this is absolutely beautiful. If you look down, these all clumped together here, forms these nice beds for quail and meadowlark and other small mammals to bed down in the winter time. But these plants have been known to live well over 100 years. So these guys this one right here might be only a few years old, but if you find those old remnant clumps, you can find clumps that are close to a century old. The prairies are not getting the protection that they deserve, as beautiful as they are. Right here we have another solidago species. This is more of one of the common ones you'll see growing on roadsides and stuff. But if you wait about 2 more weeks, the end of September, early October, these guys will puff out full of seed. You can collect these and spread them onto your property. They're actually a species that, like most asters, can actually be consumed by most livestock like cattle and sheep and goats. Right here we have another one of those blue sages growing right up next to a tall thistle that's done. If we go right here and we pull some of that out, its seed's not quite ready, but you can see all that seed there. They have these little fluffs that'll fluff out so it can carry in the wind. These aren't doing so well because it wasn't ready, but I thought I'd get out here and show you guys what grows on the sides of roads out in the countryside, and to show you that these plants are not weeds. These plants are endemic. They're important for our ecosystems. They're the most important species to save the bees, which a lot of people think means saving the honeybees, but no, what we're trying to save are the native solitary bees. There's around 4,000 species of a solitary bee that lives in Oklahoma alone. And so by conserving these spots, by putting them onto your private property, by conserving this species, you can help single-handedly save the bees. And that's why I put these messages out there, is I want to show people that there is hope and there are things that you can do. You can buy and collect seed, and you can also find areas on the sides of roads that aren't protected, areas that get sprayed, areas that get mowed, and come out and get those plants and take them somewhere where they can be preserved, where they won't be mowed or destroyed. Because a lot of these species cannot handle being mowed and will eventually die after a few years of mowing due to exhaustion, and they won't be able to make it. So I'm gonna get in here. Oh, what kind of flower is that? I've seen these growing around. Looks like they're an aster of some kind, but I'm not sure what family they're in. Right down here we got some of that rough goldenrod. It's pretty easy to identify. It's got these much larger leaves than the common goldenrod here, which has these little slender leaves that are pretty smooth overall in comparison. These rough goldenrods have these wide leaves, and they're real rough. You run your hand down and they kind of feel like sandpaper. Right across the road here, we got some biennial gaura. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. But it's another beautiful flower here. It's got these nice four-lobed flowers here with these little petioles sticking out. And then it's a long, slender plant. I believe they're another biennial. Their name is biennial gaura. So they grow their first year and then put on seed the next year. And as you can see, all these seed pods starting to form. I'm gonna get back out here and collect a bunch of seed on them here in a couple weeks whenever they are ready to collect. Right over here was a recently dozed area, but as you can see, the prairie's coming back really well. Got a huge clump of sunflowers back over there, and then all these ones in the front, and then just a ton of big blue stem out across this prairie here. Really beautiful stuff, really important for our ecosystem. Right here we got some red top. It's an invasive grass. Not as bad as some of the others, but it likes to invade wetlands. It looks a lot like switchgrass, but as you can see, has a much more red tint to its seed head. So if you have this on your property, you aren't sure what it is not a native species to the US. I believe it's a Eurasian species that was brought over, probably in bad seed mixes or probably on purpose, I don't know. We like to bring in things that aren't supposed to be here. Here comes a trucker, so I'm gonna stop the video for a second. Yeah, here comes a bunch of dust. All right, and right here we have a really pretty blue sage. It's in full bloom here. Amazing species. You don't see it too often, normally only in really healthy prairies. So this is another one that you can plant in your yard. Absolutely beautiful. The bees love it, butterflies love it. It'll attract a lot of life, and if it doesn't attract life in your yard, which it probably will, it'll definitely pop a lot of color. This is an amazing plant. I'm gonna try to, so if you live within the range, this is definitely a plant you should think about planting in your backyard, your front yard, whatever. It can get pretty tall, but if you plant it in masses and up with other grasses and stuff, it won't get too out of control. Right back over there, like way over there, it's hard to see. There's some Maximilian sunflowers in bloom as well. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure its genus is Maximilian, and I'm not sure on that. It's in the Asteraceae family, as many wildflowers in North America are. So when in doubt, just say it's an aster. That's something I've discovered is probably around, I don't know if these numbers are right, but I'd say around 80% of North American wildflowers are inside the aster family. There are 53 species of sunflower that are native to North America, from Jerusalem artichokes to black-eyed Susans to your black oil sunflowers and your Maximilian sunflowers, your compass plants, your which are silphium, but they're in the sunflower aster family. You have so many different species. You have ironweed, which can get giant. We have some giant ironweed that gets 8 feet tall. If you guys would like to see that, please comment below and point that out. Oh, we got a cool plant here. So right here we have Euphorbia marginata. This is also known as snow on the mountain. One of the easiest identification clues for it are these white petioles. These are actually leaves that have adapted to attract insects. Their flowers are actually quite small. They're these right here. These are the flowers themselves. These are the seed pods. Each seed pod produces about 6 seeds. If you get these in on your property, they definitely will do well and prosper. Really important for the bees and the wasp and all the spiders and everything that'll be on there trying to catch bees. I promise if they get spiders on them, they're not coming to get you. That's not what they're out for. But another easy identification clue is latex. So you can see it secretes latex because it's a Euphorbia. It's in the Euphorbia family, like all milkweeds are. And it's real sticky substance that comes out, secretes out. So if it's during its lower leaves look like this. So during the springtime, when it's growing, if you see these, you know, pluck a leaf off, check. You see that there's some latex secreting, you know you got something good growing there. I'm gonna go ahead and hop in my truck and drive up the road and go up to another area where there's some other cool plants, and we'll talk about some over there. But actually before that, we have right over here one of our less showy plants. This one is the giant American ragweed. These are the ones that cause allergies. So a lot of people think that goldenrod causes allergies, but goldenrod are bee pollinated. So anything that bee pollinated doesn't produce very much pollen, and what it does produce gets attached to bees and goes on. So it's not going to really be blown through the wind affecting you too much. This is what causes a lot of people's fall allergies. This is giant American ragweed. It's got these large 3-lobed fingers as its leaves, and then they get these tall seed pod kind of things that grow here. You can see they're not very showy. These are their flowers, but these plants produce a ton of pollen, and they're wind pollinated, so it just casts all of its pollen into the air, which definitely causes people's summer allergies, or late fall allergies, late summer allergies, I mean. Right here, you can see as they mowed along this, they knocked over one of these sunflowers, but this dude's keeping on going. They're real tough, real resilient. They'll come back next year. I have a lot of hope for this area, because even though they mow it, and that does help and spread some of the invasive species, I really have hope that the natives will keep a stronghold here for me to collect seed from into the future. All right, now I'm back in my truck. We're just gonna go ahead and drive up here a little ways and get to another area. Well, I didn't get very far before I saw another species that I haven't documented. This is late flowering thoroughwort. Really pretty plant, gets little large, or little tiny clumps of these white flowers. This one's not blooming quite yet. Probably in here, there might be one that's a little closer. They're really fragrant, they smell really good. I'll put the Latin name down below. I'm really trying to learn all the Latin names, but for right now, I'm gonna use their common names and put the Latin there so you guys don't get confused on the species. Ooh, right here we have a Maximilian sunflower. So this is a Maximilian sunflower. They have these long, skinny leaves that come out of their sides. They're, looks like they're alternating leaves going up the stem. And then they get these clusters of flowers at the top. As you can see, that one's blooming, but there's all these buds right here that are gonna bloom later on. These are also perennial. They get huge. I've seen them grow 8-9 feet tall, but they get covered in these beautiful flowers here. Something that's really awesome to add into your landscaping, maybe in the back of your lawn or something where you can't really see how tall they are, but they definitely bloom and help a lot of insects. But these guys can live to be well over 100 years old. They spread through seeds, spread through shoots and rhizomes. Amazing species. I've been collecting them to get them around my property. But another thing for you guys to think about if you're wanting to plant more native plants around your property and you live in the Oklahoma, Kansas. I mean, I'll put a map up here. I'm sure the range is much larger than that. But another really beautiful, amazing, resilient, drought-tolerant plant I think should be used in landscaping more often. I'm not sure what species this is. I'll look into it. They got these leaves, these saw-like leaves, almost thistle-like flower, their base of their flowers here. Another pretty aster. Let me see if I can figure out what it is. So this guy's, I just looked him up. This guy's name is curly cup gumweed. Its Latin name is Grindelia sclerosa. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I just looked it up. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce it. But you can see there's some other ones about to bloom here. Another really beautiful plant. Also why it's so amazing to get out here and start looking around, because you'll find things you haven't seen before. Maybe you have seen it before and you can learn what they are this time. You know, something I really love to do is to get out here and to really try to botanize these areas the best I can. Bunch of snow on the mountain growing right here. Euphorbia marginata. Real thick. There's a bunch of goldenrod and other asters. I don't know if you can see with the sun's glare. You got big blue stem up here on this hillside. Little blue stem growing alongside of it. Switchgrass. There's a few Indian grasses, but I don't see many of them right now. Got some Erangos leavenworthii. It's a type of thistle. Really pretty. I call them purple pineapples as a common name because they look like little purple pineapples. And then right over here, as we cross this cattle guard, got another really pretty blue sage growing, you know, and this one is definitely one I'm gonna collect seed off of. And I've been keeping an eye on it, trying to keep it protected. Got some freaking Cerisa lespedisa growing back over there, those flowers blooming behind it, and super invasive species, problematic. Got a bunch of big blue stem right over here. But yeah, let's keep going. I'll show you the next spot. Right here, I gotta walk over to this fence. We got some beautiful liatris blooming here. This is rough liatris. Got a little cicada, it looks like, you know, munching on one of the flowers, looking for something to eat. I'm not sure what they eat, but these guys have a nice bulb at the bottom of them. You know, in the ground, it's a large tuber, goes down, really drought tolerant, blooming late in the year. Another really beautiful thing to have out on your property. Got a milkweed seed right there. Not sure what species it is. Probably Asclepia viridis, the green milkweed, one of the most common ones. Got some side oats right there. Yeah, let's keep moving. All right, so here I am. Just saw these flowers growing on the side of the road. So this is purple false foxglove. They got some seed pods here that aren't quite mature yet that I'll come collect in the future. And they got these beautiful pink flowers on them. Definitely make a great addition to your prairie if you're wanting to restore it, or, you know, for some landscaping, you know, blooming late in the summer, around September. Really great species. Right up here we got some Canadian wild rye growing. Seed's really easy to collect. You can grab some like that and help the plants out and spread them a little bit. So these are Angolinus purpurea. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but another beautiful species growing alongside all these tall prairie grasses like the big blue stem and little blue stem. Right across the road, I'll show you real quick. We got some Indian grass, not a lot of it, but there is a single seed head I see growing right here. Got this real bluish glauca coated seed pod. The grass itself is pretty blue, but they got these beautiful golden seed heads that come out. They're really pretty when you get huge clumps of them. But yeah. All right, well, I got some work to do, so I'm gonna get back to the truck. Oh, here's some switchgrass right here. Piece of trash. Take it with me. People always littering. Let's see, this is I'm not sure what species that is growing right there, but got some, I'm not sure what this guy's real name is. This is what we call broomweed, but it's a nice pretty little aster here. See monarchs feeding on it from time to time, especially across prairies that are dominated by it due to overgrazing. That's gonna be about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you learned something. Hope you care a little bit more about the tallgrass prairie and the ecosystems around yourself. Please like, subscribe, comment if you have any questions or concerns about this video and you're wondering about anything. I love helping out and answering. I try to reply to all comments, so please reach out, ask questions. I'd love to try to answer them and learn myself about the things you guys are wondering about. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.